Good afternoon to you, and welcome to the latest episode of Freeworld News Header. Just before we begin today, we are in the process, I'm in the process with our website developer of developing the website at the moment. So within the next couple of weeks, you'll see a completely new Freeworld trading website. It'll look awesome, it'll look great. WordPress still continues to be our content management system, but keep your eyes open in the next few weeks. We're one step ahead of the game. So last week we were talking a little bit about volatility. Now, is it still the case that we're seeing high volatility?
Yeah, that's right. If anything, we're seeing even more. I just have to write these numbers down because they're so amazing. Because today, for instance, at 6 a.m., the pound against the dollar was 144. And just now it's 1.4169, so that's like over 2 cents in a day where basically the last quarter GDP figures came out. They were actually slightly negative for the dollar, yet we have this huge dollar strength. It was for the last quarter of sales in America, so people were expecting 0.8 and it came out at 0.7 increase. So I was really surprised at the level of response in the market there, and I think that really just refers to how jittery things are.
Yeah.
If you remember on a little while ago, the Americans increased their interest rate after dithering about it because of global uncertainty. Things seem to have kind of saturated a bit in terms of the Chinese stock markets. Yeah. And oil has also recovered significantly. So there does seem to be a reduction in the old global risks, but now we have new global risks, and perhaps the biggest one of those is Brexit.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Brexit? And first of all, for our viewers who don't know what Brexit is.
Well, it's the British it's upcoming referendum of which will be held in Britain at some point about whether we want to stay in the EC. Sure. And there was a report that we were looking at the other day, which was basically the Barclays report of what they think is going to happen. They feel that this issue has been underestimated in terms of the volatility that will cause in the currency markets especially. Yeah. So everybody's looking at the other thing. We were checking to see how our insurance for European customers, etc., would be affected. There doesn't seem to be any particular response. I think the reason that Barclays feel that this is a bigger than Britain exit issue, this is a much bigger issue. It's about the whole of the EC, because fundamentally the EC has been weakened by the response to immigration. Mm-hmm. Immigration is now the biggest reason for the vote, for the outvote in a possible EC referendum. So you've got YouGov polls, etc. So what they look at, there's also another quite interesting poll, which is what people type into Google, and there's a correlation between leaving the EC and immigration. Immigration is the number one issue. Right, okay. Now, we've already seen in the European Parliament, there are a number of representatives who are pretty close to being proto-fascist political parties. And this may be the issue that most significantly hurts the EC, because people are demanding border controls. Right. And fundamental tenet of the EC is free movement within its borders. Yeah. Now, as far as I know, the whole Schengen visa arrangement is suspended, right? So you won't probably need, if you're going to, if you're in the UK and plan to go for a holiday around the EC, you'll need to take your passport along, right? Yeah. And all those places that you race by on the e this or that, where you can see the old border patrol so they might be open, right?
Right.
So
I mean, so on the question of trading, I mean, we're a trading company, we're a distribution company. We import and export dried fruits and nuts. The nature of our business is such that it's international. I mean, a lot of business we do is in the UK. A lot of our suppliers are from other countries. A lot of our business we do is also within Europe. A lot of the business we do is when people from different countries speak different languages, right? So we are a very international company, despite having about 14, 15 people. You know, we're a small company, but international in our outlook, international in our nature. How the future of EU, as you're saying from all these polls, is such that people want to become more, I'd say, like Switzerland. So formulating these trading relationships, but being a lot more self-sufficient and closing their borders off to what they would call an over influx of migrants.
Yeah.
Now, is this, economically speaking, especially for a company like us, the right way forward? I mean, or
I don't think
is this
anything
economically
which is non-international is good for our business. I don't want to. I think it's a more fundamental thing than that. It's like the group in which we think of ourselves. It's taken a long time. We've been in this EC for a couple of decades or whatever it is, and you know, when I travel in Europe, I do feel quite like a European citizen, and that you know, I've said this a number of times before. The EC was created to prevent another world war in Europe. And look at this, you know, you get an issue like the war in Syria, and you have to wonder, actually, you know, whether Russia is actually, you know, banging the table so the ants all run up to the other end of the picnic table. But there's a lot of movement of people. It's huge. I was looking at some of those statistics there. I didn't realize this. You know, in Greece, in 1 month, they might get 100,000 migrants and 400 migrant deaths. Think of that, Shiv.
Yeah.
You know, that's in 1 month. Just dying, trying to get here.
Right. Okay. So I mean, it's an incredibly complicated situation, and you know, the main cause of death is the channels these migrants travel, the way they are migrating. You know, it's highly dangerous in certain circumstances.
Yeah, of course.
You know, drowning is happening, you know, left, right, and center.
Well, here's the thing. It's the migrational thing is seasonal, right?
Right.
People do this more in the summer. You can see why, obviously, right? Because they're out in a little dinghy, and so this is why the Brexit thing is so important, right? Because to have the referendum, Cameron will has to give a certain amount of notice, okay? And his attempt is going to be to try and get an improved deal in terms of individual rights, individual states' rights, with the EC, and that's probably got to be next month, because they will want to have this referendum before the migrant season starts.
Right. Sure.
And
so it's an emergency summit.
So first thing is that the Brexit thing is telescoping forwards.
Yep.
Secondly, the whole of Europe is going to be watching this, and it's going to have a very large impact on the currency. It's going to have a lot of impact on the way we're thinking, and I think because he has to give this time lead, he's going to want to do it from the position of having a better deal to offer from the EC.
So we're going to have to stop there. We're running a bit over time. So, I mean, quite a packed episode for you there to digest. Here's a couple of questions for you to think about. You know, what are the implications of Brexit? What are the implications on the British economy? And we've got a cashew report also on the website from Michael Stevens. So a couple of questions also there to think about what the market for cashews is like, and will this volatility, especially with the euro, continue in the foreseeable future, because parity is certainly looking less likely. So what's happening at the moment, these are little questions for you to look at. All right, thank you very much.